The smart wife, Sujata, loved her husband Madhav very much. Madhav was a kind and generous man, but he had one problem. He loved inviting guests for lunch every single day. The problem was, they were very poor. Almost every day, Madhav would bring people home to eat. Sujata would cook whatever little food they had and serve the guests first. Many times, she and her husband would sleep hungry. One day Sujata gently said, "Dear husband, we barely have enough food for ourselves. How can we keep feeding guests every day?" But Madhav replied calmly, "When we feed a guest, the gods are pleased. Never turn anyone away." Sujata realized she could never change her husband's mind, so she decided to use her wisdom. One morning, Madhav happily said, "Sujata, I've invited 3 guests for lunch today. They will arrive by noon." Sujata was worried. There was barely enough rice and lentils in the house, but she said nothing. Instead, she came up with a clever plan. She brought out the mortar and pestle used for pounding rice. She placed them in the hall and decorated the pestle with kumkum and turmeric. At noon, the guests arrived. They were surprised to see Sujata worshipping the pestle. Curious, one of them asked, "Why are you worshipping this pestle?" Sujata sighed and said quietly, "My husband has taken a strange vow. Before serving food to his guests, he must tap their heads with this pestle." The guests turned pale. Seeing their fear, Sujata quickly added, "Don't worry. He won't hit you hard, just a small tap on the head." Then she smiled and said, "Only 3 times." The guests immediately jumped up and ran out of the house in fear. Just then Madhav returned home and saw them running away. Confused, he asked Sujata, "Why are they leaving? Didn't they eat lunch?" Sujata replied, "They wanted this pestle, but I told them I cannot give it away because my mother gave it to me." Madhav was upset. "A guest must never be refused. I will give it to them myself." So Madhav grabbed the pestle and ran after them. He shouted, "Stop! I want to give it to you." The guests looked back and saw Madhav chasing them with the pestle. They thought he was about to hit them. They ran even faster. Soon the entire town saw Madhav chasing 3 men with a pestle. Word spread quickly. Madhav is a generous host, but before feeding his guests, he taps their heads with a pestle 3 times. After that day, no guests ever came to Madhav's house again, and Sujata finally had peace. Moral of the story: wisdom can solve problems that kindness alone cannot.